minute, don't know. Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your.
Hush, I'm gonna live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my sight. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. God of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. In yourself when no one's to be found, what keeps you eased out, what takes you off your mind.
Yes, you want this, I want this, everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Take the time to recognize
Share
it.
that with people. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast from Vision to Success.
What did you share with the people?
About what?
Exactly what you were talking about.
You know, just like our weaknesses or the ways we see the world. Hey, if I see the world one way, it's okay.
We live double lives. That's what we realized right now. In the pre-show,
And the crazy thing is that your double life is very
it
similar.
matches. We matchy. So
The same energy, guys.
we not only matchy in like in public, you know, like who we are and then our partners and stuff like that, but we also are secrets. Like we
Have some deep, dark secrets.
yeah, we were exchanging them earlier, and then we're like, yeah, I do that too.
Oh, really?
It's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that at church. Like, oh yeah.
Okay, not that bad, but yes, there are some things. We can't be perfect.
What's that?
We can't be perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, if anyone
What?
is on
What?
the deeper end of that scale is you. Out of this relationship, I think I'm the better one.
Yeah, my needle falls really, really close to one, like way further. You're closer to the center. I'm like nowhere near the center. I'm like nowhere near the center. But yeah, but we talked about like how our partners, that's what they like.
That's why they married us. Or else things would be boring. It'd be so boring, right?
That's what I tell myself.
Anyway, we're so excited for you to be here. We have been MIA for the last couple of weeks.
3 weeks.
Has it been 3 weeks
Yeah,
already?
dude.
I thought it was 2.
Three shows.
Oh, dang. Okay, 3 shows. And this is the season of time where Miguel is super, super busy.
Every year.
Lots of engagements, lots of schools calling him left, right, and center. So he does open up his Mondays and his Fridays. So he's busy out in the community doing good. So
Yeah, I normally don't work.
can you cover your mouth when you
It's
cough?
the incest.
Incest.
That's what I said.
You said incest. Incest is something different.
So what's that?
Incent.
Okay, that's what I said.
Okay, that's not what you said, but that's fine.
Okay, so the incense and the smoke is getting in me. But normally Mondays and Fridays I don't work, right? So Mondays I do work, but I'm not out in the public. So I'm like
So your creative time.
it is, and I realized that last year I would finish my June like over burned out.
Yeah.
Like when I'm talking about burned out, I would be crawling in through the door.
Dang.
So my busy season starts April, May.
Okay.
April, May, June. It happens every year. Every school, every organizations, they have money left over and they need to spend it. So they're all calling me. And so I was like, yeah, and I was working Monday.
Do you charge a premium?
No. No. I'm not about that. No. I can't.
Why?
Because sometimes they don't get their budgets until like April. And so they don't know. A lot of the times is like they wait for last minute. But then for the most part is they're closing off their year and they're seeing how much they've allotted and things like that, right? Others, they put my presentation as a priority. And so I'm one of the first things on their lines of budgets. For others, it's like, no, we got to spend money on like basketballs or gym equipment, or we got to do this, we got to do that. And so then, we want Miguel's program in here, but then I'm like the third, fourth, fifth.
Okay.
Right. And then they don't know how much engagement, parent engagements they're going to get from raising money.
Okay.
Right. And so again, it's not their fault, but it does happen. And so last year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I would leave the house around 7:38 and I would not get back in the house until like 10 o'clock every single day. And I got again burned out. And so this year I was like, I can't do that again. And there was things that I wanted to do, write a book and do manuals and do like resource stuff for teachers and parents.
Yeah.
And I would find that I would look forward to the weekend to do these things, but then I was so busy throughout the week that I just wanted to hang out and chill on the weekend.
Also, you have family time, right?
And I have church responsibilities.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a lot. So I have a question for you, kind of segues into what we're talking about. With the busyness of the season that you have right now, how have you found time to work on what you've like committed yourself to working for this next little bit?
So so because I'm not burned out anymore, I'm able to work on the weekends in the mornings. I still wake up at 3.
Okay.
Right? Mondays and or Saturdays and Sundays. So I still wake up at that time.
Can you just input the time then in there? How much time do you spend in it?
About an hour or 2 a day.
That's pretty good if you do it.
And that's what I realized. It's
2
time
days.
blocking.
Yeah.
Right? And so just a lot the times, whatever. But yeah, like it's so for the last 3 weeks, I've had to open up my Mondays and Fridays. Right. And so that's why we haven't been able to do the podcast, but I'm not burned out. Like if I'm doing it and I'm still good, like I've been going crazy. Last week I came home one time I came home around 11. The next time I came home around 1 o'clock actually.
Dang.
Right. But I was good. Like I was good because I wasn't burned out. I still had so much energy in my tank. And so I'm able to do it. And so, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we haven't been connecting. It's because of me this time. Normally it's because of this one. Oh, my tooth hurts. Oh, my kids are sick. Oh, I just don't feel like doing it.
That's a big one. I just don't want to come in today.
Yeah.
He's like, why? I'm like, because I don't like you. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You heard it. You heard it. So we have actually, so it's funny that we're talking about all of this because did you read it?
Yeah, it was about a big announcement, things that are happening.
Actually, I can't wait. I want to hear your big announcement. So remember last time, guys, we talked about how Maria was going to, on the 30th, she was going to launch her, an app.
Yeah.
So that same day when we announced it, she went home and she's like, I don't want to do it.
Not that I didn't want to do it. I just realized that the same thought kept creeping up on my mind and I should have leaned into it. It was from before. When you mentioned it. You asked me about it and I was like, no, I don't know, right? And I had already been thinking about it, but then I said something else on air. And then when I went home, that thought kept being in me. And I thought to myself, if I was to die and not give birth to this thought or idea, would I regret it? I'm like, what would I regret more, the app or this? And I would regret this more. So that's why I shifted.
Then you should have called me right away or text me.
You're so busy though.
So what? Is this not a partnership?
It is.
Is this not a partnership?
Okay.
Is this not a partnership?
But you're so busy and you never text me back.
I always text.
I text him and he does not text me back.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What are you smoking? I always text you back.
Okay. He'll be like, you didn't text me, and I'll be like, receipts?
Yeah.
No, I know. This time I didn't text you because I figured that I'd tell you in person.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, look. You message, I message you back. You message, I message you back.
The last one, you didn't message me back.
Which one?
Just kidding. Anyway.
We're proving her wrong right now.
Anyway.
And she sent me, I love the fact that you sent me
your birthday wish? Is that what we're talking about? And then my answer after?
The birthday wish was good. I appreciate that. My birthday was last week.
Yeah.
I'm 23 years old.
Times 2 plus 4. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's not. You're not 50. I always bother him about 50. There's nothing wrong with being 50.
There's nothing wrong with being 50. For all our 50-year-olds out there.
Yeah, like he just doesn't like me adding age to him.
No, I don't. You know what it is? And I was talking to actually Sister Cynthia Banyas.
Yeah.
Right on Sunday. When you're, and again, this is not a shot to all you 50-year-olds out there. You look great. You're amazing. Phenomenal. Love you. Wish I can date you. But the thing that I was talking.
Did you say wish I can date you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you're still
That's
desirable.
so random. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
That made sense in my head.
Okay. I've never heard it, but okay.
I'm a trailblazer.
Okay.
I'm a trendsetter.
Anyway, keep going.
So,
Oh my gosh, that should be your nickname. Hi, David. He is joining us and he says, happy belated abuelito.
First of all, you can log off now. That was rude. Friggin' guy. I'm older than by like a little, not a lot. Or maybe a lot, actually.
You could be his dad.
There's no shot. David, how old are you, buddy?
David, he could literally be your dad.
I cannot. What's? Anyways, so going back to this, when you're in your 40s, even if you're 49, you can
Okay.
still say I'm in my 40s, and you're like, and that can mean you're 42, that can
Yeah.
mean you're 45, that can mean you're 46. That means you can 41, 40. But when you are in your 50s, there's a shift that changes in the minds. It's like, holy crap, like you're
Like 50 years have gone in.
you're halfway through 100.
That's amazing, though. Wouldn't that bring you joy?
And then 30 years closer to 80.
Yeah, that's amazing, no? I feel like I see aging so differently.
Yeah, 100% we see it differently. My body sees it differently as well.
You're like,
every part, my hair hurts.
this guy told me, he's like, this is my morning routine. I take his vitamins are two
2 Advils
Advils.
every morning and an energy drink or pre-workout.
I'm like, I don't know how good that is for your body. The Advils, the pre-workout, I do it too.
My dad used to take Tylenol every morning. Every morning.
Just
And
for-
he lasts until 86. So I figured Advil, I'm okay.
You're good. You're good to go.
It just-
Anti-inflammatory, like pain reliever.
It masks the pain. I feel young. I feel 25. My bones don't creak. I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot wait until I add it to 3 Advils a
Oh
morning.
my gosh. Your poor body.
I have no idea what it's doing to my insides, but
It works for you right now.
what does it? Is it wrong? Is it bad?
Because you're just taking it once a day, I don't think so. But it does. If you take it too much, it can affect other organs in your body.
But
However,
I'm drinking a lot of water.
I don't know. I think you could be fine. I don't know. Honestly, not something I'd recommend.
Yeah, don't do it.
What I was recommending to him, I'm like, you need to do stretching and mobility exercises. He's like, I do. Look, I move my joints. I'm like,
I do.
anyway, I think after the age of, I would say after the age of 30, and for sure after 40, you need to focus on mobility. At least 2 days a week, you need to do mobility.
Yeah.
Or else your body locks, right? We are in certain positions all the time, and our body ends up locking that way if not, we're not exercising other ways.
When I drive up, like at the end of my day, like if I'm,
You're getting out of the car and
you
you're like,
have
hunched
no
over.
idea. Like I get out and I'm just like, why is everything not responding? Like my arms don't want to move. My legs like, and I get out, and I get out like this,
Oh man.
and I stretch and I close the door and then I'm fine. Then I take 2 Tylenols and I'm good.
So 2 Advils in the morning, 2 Talons all night.
At night,
Very good.
yeah.
You know, I don't know if you should do that out there.
I'm just joking. I
you
don't
know,
do
we're
that.
not.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm being serious.
The Advils you do, but the
The
Tylenol
Advils
you
I do.
don't.
The Tylenols, yeah.
That's gonna be when you reach 50. Perhaps.
I'll just be like a walking pharmaceutical.
Listen, so this is my view on aging, right? I think, and I understand how aging can be seen as something negative, I guess, but for me, it's something exciting, something positive. I look forward to being older. I look forward to having grandkids. I look forward to, like maintaining my body, if that makes sense. And I
Yeah.
think it's because I have that mindset. I follow a ton of ladies who are like 80 plus and have killer bodies and do crazy workouts. And I'm like, man, if I can get my body that way when I'm 80.
But that. Listen, 50 years old, 6 years, killer bodies and stuff like that. Chances are they're taking 3-4 Advils in the morning. There's no shot. If I feel I'm active, I go to the gym, I do my things, I do my saunas, I do my treadmills and all these different things or whatever, and I'm still popping these pills like Skittles.
I think it's the mobility. You're not doing mobility, and you need to include
What
that.
do you mean mobility? I move every day.
No, mobility. You need to do hip stretches, hip mobility, shoulder mobility. There are certain like exercises that you need to do in order to help that rolling. With a roller, it like releases your fascia, and your fascia is what attaches your muscles to like other things around it. It gets tight.
I have fascias in my body.
Anyway,
What's
you
a
and I
fascia?
you and I are gonna have a conversation about this, but I think
hang on.
that why are you like this anyway?
What's
This
up?
is
What about my faja?
okay.
Who's my faja?
Fasha. I think it's fasha. You're confusing me now. I can't even.
I know my faja. My faja is Daniel Martinez. Who's your faja?
Anyway, let's move on to our podcast.
I've
Guys,
never,
I'm
I've,
so
I've never heard that word before.
fasha.
I've
It's
heard father faja.
that's not what it is.
Do you have a faja? People out there, I have a faja.
Let me look it up right now so I can actually give you.
Oh my god!
You're so crazy.
We all have faja. We have a faja in heaven too.
I don't know. You know what? If you're still with us, we are so grateful that you still choose to listen to our
David.
podcast.
I could be your faja. You're 35 years old. I'm 47. I could be your faja.
Technically, you were 12 when he was born, so I guess it could have been a very young father.
I could have been young and active. Absolutely. I could have been your faja.
Anyway, let's get into our podcast. Why didn't you introduce it?
How old are you?
I'm 40. I'm 40 actually, turning 41. I was telling people I was 41, and then I came to the realization this morning that I'm not yet 41. I was like,
when's your
wait,
birthday?
August. I'm a twin there with David
When in August?
first.
Um,
So
there's no way it could be your faja.
thank goodness. I'm scarred for life.
Listen, that's so rude.
Anyway, introduce our topic.
No, yeah. I think we have. First of all, I've been getting actually some pretty good comments in the sense of I never asked, but after you sent on Saturday, May 31st, you sent me a whole bunch of possible topics. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I ask for some?
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah. You went on ChatGPT afterwards.
Listen, Chad is my best friend. Anyway, go ahead.
Can you tell the people how you prepare your lessons?
With Chat.
Yeah.
Well, not. This is what I do. I use Chat. I use AI for my gospel study as well. So
So how do you do that?
How do I do it?
I'm actually quite interested, quite curious to know how you do that.
Okay, so
Because we have the come follow me,
yeah.
and so but you go above and beyond like that. You actually use chat. How do you use that?
Well, sometimes I have questions, right? So what I do is I do come follow me, and I also do 10 minutes of reading additional scriptures. For me, is the Book of Mormon, right? And I was really I was reading Alma 5, and it talked all about the atonement, and it talked about having a change of heart. And then I started pondering. I was like, how can I use the atonement daily in my life? And as I was pondering, I asked Chat. And so then I said, give me 3 actionable steps that I can do in order to use the atonement more effectively in my life. And it gave me 3. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It's really good. It's all about reflection. And so I asked for reflective questions. And what I'll do as well is things that I really like and are meaningful to me, I save them. And then I think about future lessons, future workshops that I can do with the youth, with my young women.
That's cool.
Yeah. So hold on, where is it?
David, you are the baby here.
Oh, I did another one based on fear.
I'm looking at my elbows right now. Look at my elbow. Can you see my elbow?
I can't see your
Topoyo.
elbow.
Look, it's right there.
Hold on, you asked me to tell you what the questions are, so let me just quickly look it up right now.
I know, but look at Topoyo. Topoyo wants to say hi.
I don't want to say hi. It's like
Look at Topoyo. This is so weird. I was working out the other a while back. I was doing some exercises and I looked at my elbow. I'm like, nope, doing something else.
you're like, no thanks.
And pollo loco, freak. David's filled with Hey man, nothing but love. You can log off now.
He's like,
Look at this. Look at this. Acknowledge him. Say hi.
I'm not saying hi. Let me just find a.
Just I will stop if you just say hi. Look.
Is it busy trying? Hold on. Let me find a.
I know. All you have to do is 30.
Okay.
Just 2 seconds and look up. No,
Where
the
should it-
screen. The
oh my
screen.
gosh! It is more. It was even pointier than before. Okay, so this is what I asked Chat, and it says a powerful daily actionable step from Alma 5 to use the atonement more fully in your life is this daily soul check-in. And so it gives me 3 things that I can ask. Have I experienced a mighty change based on the verse 5:14? Have I experienced a mighty change of in my heart? Actionable step, at the end of each day, take 3 minutes to ask, where did I see the Savior influence my life? Did I let him into my heart in a new way through repentance, patience, forgiveness, or love? And then what part of me still needs changing? And am I inviting Christ to help me with it? So it's reflective questions. It's things that I can focus on at the end of the night. Sometimes it's actionable steps I can do during the day.
Okay.
So I really like it. I've done it for fear. I've done it for stewardship. I've done it for all kinds of things. I've done it for the young women's theme.
Okay.
So for our young women in our church, 12 to 18, we recite young women's theme, which is a set of affirmations and truths about ourselves. And so what I did is I asked it to create 5 daily prompts in order to help me understand the theme better. They're self-reflective questions. So anyway, it's really good. Highly, highly recommend it. As well, like I will use caution. I will like let you know that if you are using it for your spiritual learning,
Yeah, don't do it.
no, you focus more on the scripture. Remember, it
Yeah.
can give you a further insight, but it's not, if you just go directly to chat and don't do anything else or study or anything else and you just get a summary, it's not going to mean much to you.
Yeah.
Always go back to the source. So anyway, I'm a fan.
No, that's really good. Actually, I love chat because there's so many resources out there, and you can use chat to really expand your mindset.
Yes.
To expand your spirituality, you always have to go back to the scriptures.
Absolutely.
That's the only source of your connection with God. It's not chat. So chat can be modified, chat can be influenced, right? And all these different things, but the word of God can't. And so but anyways. So yeah, after I asked you for some topics, you sent a whole bunch here. But then
Those are based on based on thoughts and ideas that I've already had and I've been working on, even posting on my social media.
yeah. So one of them said summer reset, which I really, really like. Simple habits to start fresh in September. Who am I? Finding about yourself with no guilt. Mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body. Yeah, check in. Number 4, ditch the drama, and how to stop overthinking. I really like that one. The summer self vision of casting, and just not just you, but also other people's. I don't know how and why, but other people have been chiming in for possible topics.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So MJ, longtime listener, he actually said, he goes here to talk about the importance of independence.
Ooh. We can talk
Right.
about that.
I really like that. And then how do you move out? How do you move on and move out?
Ooh, like in what sense, I wonder?
In the sense of like, if you are still living,
Are we talking literal or figurative?
both even.
Okay.
If you're like living at home and you're like really looking for your independence, right?
How do you do it?
How do
Like a
you-
step-to-step
yeah.
guide.
Like how do you find yourself, and how do you? It's afraid. Like I'm telling you right now, when I was getting ready to serve a mission, that was my biggest fear. So I'm the baby of the family. My brother's 10 years older and my sister's 15 years older. So they're 5 years apart. I'm like, from my sister, I'm 15 years younger.
Yeah.
So I've been the baby of the family. My sister and my brother, they left and were independent. So they left El Salvador before me. So I was just left at home by myself, but with my parents. And then I left, and my brother and my sister always lived together with my sister's husband. So it's always been that trio.
Yeah.
Wherever my sister went, my brother went. My sister was pretty much his mom,
Okay.
right? And then and then anyway, so then they kind of grew up together, and I was just me by myself. And so I was the baby of the family. So my mom, as much as I didn't like it, she babied me a lot.
Yeah. Because you were
Me,
the youngest, right?
by nature, I would push back. I'm like, Mom, just leave me alone. So funny enough, like for my mission preparation, I took care of everything. I booked the appointments for the doctor. I booked the appointments for my license, whatever, the dentist, my patriarchal blessing.
I also think at the time your mom was not supportive of you going on a mission.
We had talked about it, and she would have rathered me stayed because I was the baby of the family. And so it would have hit really, really hard if I did leave, which I did, and then ended up like not hurting, but she did feel it. But I'm like, and you know, I see it online. Sometimes you're opening up presents, your mission call, and everybody's around. It was me in my room.
Yeah.
It was in my room. I opened it up. I read it. I went on my knees. I said my prayers. Thanked God for my mission call. And I waited about a month to tell everybody
Wow.
or anyone. And so when I told people,
Why did you hold it? Like, You didn't tell anybody. I mean,
no
your
one.
bishop must have known that you received your mission call. Somehow, don't they know?
If you, so now, yes, everything's online,
Yeah.
right? So I'm either he, because was there emails? I don't think there was emails.
No, probably not then.
was
Because it used to
probably
be
a
like a
letter.
huge letter.
Yeah, it was probably a letter. I got the envelope, right? And so, yeah, I didn't. So when I finally told people, there was about little less than 2 months before I had to leave.
Yeah.
So
Didn't you need visas and all that stuff? Like, how did you do
I
that?
took care of it. Well, I didn't take care of the visas because it's Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and in Puerto Rico, it's part of the U.S. and you don't need it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I would have taken care of that as well. And so so I was there, not having anybody, not talking to anybody. That was the biggest fear. Is like, how am I going to leave my mom's side, like her skirt side, and just cook for myself, do my own laundry, be my own person, be my independence and whatever. And that is
You
absolutely.
had like the umbilical cord there.
I had it.
Listen, I had it too. That was highly, highly what happened to me. And I was getting married. It was so bad that we got married and Mike moved in with our family. Granted, it was also the situation. He was still in school.
Yeah.
But that umbilical cord wasn't cut until probably like a year after. And it came through a huge fight. That
But you, Mike, or Mike and the family?
No, me and
Oh,
my
you-
parents at the time. So it was me, my parents, and my brother.
And you're the only daughter too.
I'm the only daughter. So similar experience because
Yeah.
my oldest brothers are 10 years is the oldest. And then I believe like 9 or 8 years is the second one that we're away. And I was raised the same way. My oldest brother, he lived in the States and then he got married. And so I didn't grow up with him. And then my other brother as well, by the time I had a notion of kind of what was going on, he was already a teenager. He was living his own life. He was kind of
How
rebellious
far
at the time.
apart are you guys?
I think we're 9 years. So me and him are
Oh,
9
wow.
years.
So
and
very
then-
similar.
Yeah, and then my oldest is 11 years.
Wow.
And so when I was born, my oldest brother was living in the States and he didn't come back until I was, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7, or 8. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then during that time, he met someone, got engaged, got married. So he moved away from Ecuador where we were at when I was 8.
Yeah.
So the next time I saw him, I was 12. We briefly lived with him. And then after that, it was a little bit of a rocky relationship as well because the dynamics were a little bit
Yeah.
like,
And there's a generational gap too. Like that's my
Exactly.
brother and I. We have not always seen eye to eye, right?
I think for me and my oldest brother, it's the hardship that we had is that he wanted to be my dad, which I did not want him to be my dad. He had
Yeah.
more of that patriarchal feel. I don't know if he intended it to, because sometimes we do things and we have no idea.
Yeah.
And I think that created a lot of pushback for me. I didn't want that in my life.
Same here.
Yeah.
Literally carbon copy story.
Listen, that's why we're twins, right?
hate
That's
it.
why when he says things, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, even though you see me being kind of mean sometimes to him,
Always.
it's all in good fun. But I do, when we have our heart to hearts, I'm like, listen, man, I'm like, I get it. It's just,
I'm still waiting for that heart to heart. That never happens. Not with me, at least.
okay.
When was the last time we had a heart to heart? Exactly. It took
I
too
don't
long.
remember, but it's been there. Hey, it's been there.
It's been there.
But you get uncomfortable when you like share things with me, and then all of a sudden you're like, he's like, he needs to get it out, and he shared it, but then afterwards, that discomfort of that vulnerability,
Turtle
then he's
formation?
like, totally turtle formation.
That's my superpower.
No. As extroverted as you see this man, I think he's a social introvert.
Yeah, I am. I don't know what that means, but I am. It sounds right.
Yeah, a social introvert means that you're out, you're able to have fun, be there for people, but your social battery is only X amount, and by a certain time, you're like ready to go.
I don't know, but what I do call it. So I've coined this. It's the Michael Jackson effect.
I have no idea what that means.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I coined it. I created it, and so that
Okay, what
nobody
does
knows
that
what it
even
means.
mean? It's like a purple elephant situation. Please
Exactly what it
accept.
is. A purple, and the purple elephant makes absolutely sense. It's all about the nail. So listen to me.
Hate that stupid video.
I wish I would have created that. Do you know how much like street cred I would have had if I would have? Anyways, long story short, the Michael Jackson effect. I've always called it this.
Okay, what is it?
So if you see Michael Jackson on stage, right?
Yeah.
He is the most powerful performer to have ever existed on earth in my mind.
Yeah.
Like this guy just command presence, right?
Yeah, and he was able to shift energies, right? Like
Belt out the music, the
Yeah.
power moves. His face. He was just like absolutely in control of the. You didn't just hear the music, you felt the music, and you saw the music through his body performance.
Yeah.
Face, hand gestures, body language, and just like
that's you when you're
that's-
doing what you love.
okay. But then if you see his interviews,
He's very
he's very shy, very quiet, and very just like a child, whatever, right? So on stage, you get this one version of
Yeah.
Michael, and then in his everyday talking to people, interviews, whatever, there was like another layer of him, right? And so that's what I call the Michael Jackson effect. And so with me, it's a very similar caliber.
Yeah.
When I'm on stage and I'm performing, I'm giving my talks. It is a show. It's a genuine show. Like I mean every word that I say, but it is definitely a performance,
yeah.
right? I like to interact with people. I like to see them laugh. I like to whatever. But then you put me in a room with people I don't know, I'm in the corner.
100%. I have seen this firsthand. Turtle formation. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. I am in the corner. I'm not talking to anybody. I just do whatever, and it's not because I'm depleted in energy.
No, because you're an introvert.
I'm an intro. I'm not performing. I'm not. I hate.
to
Yeah.
you, yeah. I've seen it. I'm like, what is happening to you?
Yeah. Meetings, steak conferences. I'm in the back. I'm in the corner. I'm just whatever taking my notes down. I'm not talking to anybody. Steak president comes up to me and says hi. I'm like, oh.
I'm sorry.
How are you, sir? Sorry. Let me kiss the ring. Like I am not him, right? The only reason that I'm like this here or whatever, it's because I not only I know it's a show, right? So mindset, but I'm comfortable with you.
And we enjoy it. If we did not enjoy it, that would transmit.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't enjoy it and this was way something that you didn't want to do or outside of your comfort zone, you'd be like,
Yeah.
this podcast would not exist.
For your birthday dinner?
Yeah, I know. He was in a corner.
I was in hell.
I don't understand. Oh yeah, you probably didn't know a good portion of the people there.
I'm grateful that I sat where I sat because I had you guys close, I think, beside me, and then I had the Palmers.
Yeah.
And I love Michelle. Michelle and Jason are just like gold.
Yeah, so he was like in the middle of that, but I didn't know what was happening. It was to the point, usually between you and Tegan, you are the way more social one than Tegan. At this point, Tegan was running the show. She was so social.
Yeah.
And this man was like fully just sitting in a corner by himself, like just on his phone, probably playing Clash of the Titans or something. But it is true. He is. That's why now when I see you, I feel like I can tell where
What's
you're
going on?
at. Yeah. There was one time where he was really upset,
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that.
but he was among youth and you love the youth and you will always like put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
But I knew his energy was off.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Something an activity that I wasn't I don't want to say I didn't approve because you don't need my approval, but I didn't understand and I didn't agree with was launched, and so then I was just like, this is baloney. I keep saying BS. For those who understand BS, it doesn't mean what you think it means.
So what does it mean? Yes, say it. You were about to say it.
No, I know. In high school, we used to have substitutes.
Okay.
So I didn't swear. I never swore. And
Okay.
so like, the F word and I
So what was BS?
BS for me is baloney story.
Okay.
So anytime you hear me say BS, I don't mean the other BS. I mean baloney story. Like I don't believe that story. That's baloney, right?
Okay.
And so freak, that's what you hear me say. Oh, freak or shoot. Me and my friends would always use these substitute words.
Mm-hmm.
Up until after I left high school, I went on a mission, whatever. And then that's when there was a separation of like culture.
Okay.
Like they started drinking, smoking. They never did that. I never did that growing up. And then swearing wasn't a thing. But then, yeah. So if you ever hear me say BS, I don't mean BS the way that you think it means. It's baloney story.
If you ever hear me saying BS, I'm saying it the way that you think.
VS? No, let's tell them what VS means.
Anyway, no, we were talking about BS.
Oh, BS. Oh.
No, I was saying BS. Yeah, it is the way that you're thinking.
So what was it talking about?
I'm not sure. Oh, about the story that something had happened.
Oh
and it
yeah.
was
So
BS.
I didn't agree with it and whatever. And so I was still amongst like 100 youth,
Mm-hmm.
and I could not let them see me upset because I was genuinely upset. And so I was in that transition, and I was like, I was angry, and I was trying to be smiling, but I was angry, and I was like, and that messed up my energy. I was like,
Yeah.
I just got to get out of there. And on my way to my car, because I had to reset, this one finds me, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing." But yeah,
Yeah, there was something wrong. I was like,
yeah, I was way off.
yeah.
Okay, so going back, so I know that we're talking about let's catch up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I did go on ChatGPT, and I asked a prompt. I forget what the prompt was, but then it came up with some of these questions, and I'm actually quite excited about number 3.
Okay, go for it.
Okay,
Do it.
so how does your summer look like? Is it busier or lighter? Because kids are home now. They're not at school.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, how are they? Does it change? Do you feel like you have to be more active? You have to be more present? Does your routine change? Like, how does it look like?
Well, definitely, I'm more of an enforcer. Well, with my kids have to have a certain routine. You know how I do my morning routine?
Yeah.
My kids have to have a morning routine as well. And
Okay.
as long as that's done, then they do have times to do other stuff. But I feel like I do focus more on ensuring that they're not always on devices and on doing things. So I would say that maybe it does get a little bit busier. And looking back, I'm like, it is busy because we have a lot of stake things that are happening
Yes.
in our work. And
Yeah.
I'm going to Young Women's Camp. There's other stuff going on. So we have family vacations. So I would say it gets busier actually.
Yeah. So
It is a busy season.
so for empty nesters, it might actually be just the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I think when you throw kids in there,
It's different.
it becomes kids are not at school. You can't like if the kids are at home or if the kids are at school, it's a great opportunity to reset the house and clean it up and get it ready, so it looks clean until the minions come home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people with children, it becomes extremely busy.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
busy.
routine does fall by the wayside for some people, not for you. But like going to the
Well, you
gym,
have-
working out and all these different things, like people, it
Yeah.
takes a back seat.
Well, actually, you just have to, yes, I absolutely, but I truly believe that you just have to shift and it does not have to take a backseat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's the advice,
Yeah.
right? But for the most part, some people, because now the kids aren't in the house and they're bored, they want to go out, they're hungry,
Yeah.
they want to watch, they want your attention. And
Yeah.
so the things, your me time starts to take a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So here's my question for number 3. How do you avoid that? How do you avoid the burnout and how do you avoid the burnout of having kids at home?
Mm-hmm.
And not that you don't like your kids. We get it. You love them, but they can be a handful as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So burnout or breakthrough, what are some things that you can do to maintain the importance of self-care and you time and me time?
Okay. I remember reading this story about this guy who was a writer and he was so excited to write his book, right? And he had this block. I don't know when he was doing it, but he was like, I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to shut the door and I'm going to do my thing. And then he realized that he was completely absent from his family, right? Like anytime his kids would come in, he's like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. Blah, blah, blah. After that, he reprioritized and he's like, okay, what are some things that are important for me? Family was a huge important thing. And then he realized that his me time could not conflict with family time. So I think one of the biggest advice I could give you is that you look at your family time and then you look at your me time, and both of them, you can structure them in a way that they don't conflict with one another. For me, that's the reason why I get up so early, right? But that might not be for you. Maybe for you is...
Are you saying about marrying me time and family time?
No, you can't.
Okay.
I think they're two separate things.
Okay, they are separate.
I think they're two
Okay,
separate
I
times.
agree with that.
And I think what you need to do is you need to prioritize when these things are going to happen. I'm a-okay. When my kids were little, I was a-okay with them being on YouTube devices and all that stuff while I got my me time done. Right? I was okay with them doing all that stuff. I know not all parents are okay with electronics, but I was okay with it as long as I got my own time. Then as they were getting older, I realized that for me, it's more productive when I do it first thing in the morning. So
Okay.
I structure my time that I do the things that I want to do before my kids get up.
Okay.
But if that's not for you, look at when you want to do it,
Yeah.
right? When do you want to, and what does your me time look like? I think that's important. Also, me time doesn't have to be 2 hours. You can do 5-minute resets, right? Maybe you want to have smaller me time blocks.
We call them energizers.
Yeah. You could do that. Also, like you could say, okay, the kids are going to watch a movie or do this, or maybe they're going to be outside from this time to this time. I'm going to have a goal to do this, and the other. If your kids interrupt you, when my kids used to interrupt me and I had all these goals that I needed to do, I would count them as being done. I would be like, and I think that mindset helped me because then I wasn't annoyed with my kid. I was like, you know what? My effort was there. I was willing to do it. And that helped me to reset.
Okay.
What's your advice?
Well, my advice is that there's nobody more important than you.
Yeah.
Like I know you love your kids. I know you love your partners. I know you love parents. I know you love your siblings and all this other stuff. But everybody takes everyone needs to take a back seat. There's nobody more important in your life than you and your health. So having said that, right? And it's so I used to work with the Canadian Mental Health Association. We always talked about, I created a workshop for them and talked about putting on your mask on first, right? So when you're on when you're in an airplane and lack of oxygen takes place and all these things fall down, they instruct you very, very carefully. Take the masks, put them on yourself, then proceed to helping the person on your left and your right.
Yeah.
Now, and if you have smaller children, if you have an adult or a senior citizen, like, you know, why would I put on my mask? Why wouldn't I help them first? Right? That's the natural mentality of things. But if you take a look at the research, what happens in the case of lack of oxygen, there's two things. Number one, you process information much, much slower. So even though things are happening in real time, you're actually seeing them in slow motion, which is the weirdest, most interesting thing, that when you are, the lack of oxygen, everything, it just slows down. And if you continue with the lack of oxygen, then your body just shuts down and you pass out. If you pass out, you lose control of your mobility, your neck. Your neck is now flying around left, right, and center. You can bonk yourself on the window side, on the seat in front of you, with another person, crack your head, break your neck, you die. So the best way for you to actually help the person on your left and on your right is if you put on the mask on first.
I agree.
So when you put on that mask and you have oxygen flowing into your system, you are now able to help everybody and anybody around you.
Yeah.
But if your focus is always everybody else, you're going to burn out. You are going to have this lack of oxygen, and then you're not going to be a good wife, husband, brother, sister, parent, mom, dad, etc.
And here's the reason why is when you're stressed and overwhelmed, you don't have clarity, and you're not making potential the best choices.
Yeah.
Also, the experience through it is not going to be as positive as if you're taking care of it. As we were talking, around this time is a time where I think a lot about my dad, because this is the time where his journey began from beginning. If you're new with us, my dad passed away about 3 years ago from thyroid cancer. And it was a period of 3 months. And during those 3 months, it was very go, go, go kind of thing. It was very aggressive. It was like I was walking through fire. But as you were saying this, I was reflecting that during that time, I had Mike, I had my kids, I had my dad. I was responsible for the medical aspect of my dad. So I was there at appointments. It was COVID. It was a lot of stuff going on. But as that stuff was going on, I still did self-care.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I didn't do it, that my experience was going to be even worse.
Yeah.
So 2 things that I still did, or 3. Did I do my full care? Yeah, I think I probably did do my full morning routine. So things that I did to help me during the season of loss. I made sure that I prayed and I read my scriptures. I needed some spiritual fuel to get me through that. Then I made sure that I worked out. The reason why I worked out, because I had all kinds of energies within me. I was grieving. I was feeling lost. I was feeling all these things. I needed to work through that, and I needed something physical. And I journaled, and the journal helped me with my mindset and to kind of get thoughts out, right? So reflecting back, Had I not done that, I would have been a hot mess.
Yeah.
I would not, and no one, my family, my kids, my husband, they would not have gotten the best version of me at that time because I wouldn't have been able to. There's just been so much physical heaviness within me, so much mental heaviness, spiritual heaviness. But doing my morning routine took the edge off. It didn't lift everything up. I was still going through it, but it helped me through it, right? So the harder the season, the more you need something to help to ground you so you can withstand that storm.
And you did your journaling as well.
Yeah. And that's what so remember how we were talking about like how my thing shifted? Okay, so both him and I made some promises a few podcasts ago that he's going to be working on a class or on a course.
A course.
That's going to be launched at the end of this month. Anyway, he's going to be working on a course. That's what you said.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm waiting for your thing. I'm
Okay.
like, it's true. And next week I'm launching it. Next week's the launch date.
That's so amazing. Okay, so for me, I have decided to finish my book. You talked about it.
Hey,
I
we're
did.
finally going to get the book. We have 37 orders already. Just waiting.
I decided because I decided and I thought about it and I was like, if I was to die and there was one idea I did not give birth to, it would be this book. I don't care if nobody reads it. I don't care, but the fact is that, there was so many lessons learned. There was so many miracles to be, that I experienced. And also there's so many gems that can help my future generation. And I'm hoping a lot of people. But in reality, if I was able to leave a treasure for my kids, this is the treasure that I want to leave, right? So anyway, I've been working on it. I am in chapter 4.
Hey, this is legit. Are you keeping the same date?
Yeah, I'm working hard to have it done at the end of the month because for me, remember
It
how
was
we
June
said
30th.
that? Yeah. So I'm working hard. Obviously, it's my first time, so there's
June
a lot
30th.
of learning.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3 weeks left.
There's a lot of learning going on. So the way that my book is structured is that you get the daily journals. So I'm doing it sort of a week at a time, and then you get a reflection, and then you get 3 tools to help you if you're going through grief.
What the frick? What the frick?
Yes.
I may buy a book
So in chapter
too.
4. So right now, let me read you the titles a little bit. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
And you're welcome.
I know. Thank you. I know. Listen, the 2 most influential people, well, 3. The 3 most influential people in my life.
Miguel, Martinez, Antonio.
Okay, first of all, is obviously God, right?
Okay.
Then Mike, and then I would have to say Miguel. There are other people that are very influential too, but I would say that the 3, the ones that always challenge me.
So hang on, time out. When you first said 2, who were the original 2? You're like, there's been 2 very influential people.
Well, I wasn't going to include God, but I was like, no, he's the most influential in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. There are more, but I think with business
No
with
more. So see here, Sister Amarillas. So she's a sister that I used to, for my mission.
Oh.
Yeah, so I used to go to their house all the time. I can't believe she still remembers this. ¿Quieres un pedazo de mí? So I served my mission in Puerto Rico, right? I'm 47 years old now. When I served, it was between the ages of 19 and 21. I met a lot of good friends. Deep down inside, my heart is half El Salvadorian and half Puerto Rican. I identify sometimes more as a Puerto Rican than I do as an El Salvadorian. I know that's blasphemy, and all the El Salvadorian communities are going to chastise me, but you have to understand, I left when I was 8, and I was still very, very young, and the only El Salvadorian that I knew was what would take place in my own home. The pupusas, the horchatas, and this language and all this other stuff, the music and all that.
Now I want pupusas.
So I lived El Salvador secondhand, I would almost say.
Yeah.
Right? Because I did not live in the country, and I was so young. I was 6 when I left. Did I say 8?
8, yeah.
I left when I was 6. I came to Canada when I was 8. But I left when I was 6. So my memories of El Salvador is very, very young. But then at the age of 19, 20, and 21, for 2 years, I lived in Puerto Rico. It's my best years of my life. Best years. And so I was really, really, I integrated my life, my soul, my spirit, my mind, my heart, everything into Puerto Rico, right? And so I identify as Puerto Rican sometimes. I used to go around saying in Puerto Rico, you want a piece of me? For jokes to kids. members, bishops. Look, you want a piece of me? And then it got translated as, ¿Quieres un pedazo de mí? She still remembers that. I used to say it all the time. ¿Quieres un pedazo de mí? I would play basketball with the youth sometimes. I'm like, ¿Quieres un pedazo de mí? And then I would just talk so much trash. She still remembers. Good old days.
Those are the good old days for you.
Yeah, they were. Okay. So, yeah, you got 3 weeks, dude.
Okay.
What are the titles?
Okay, so chapter 1, the beginning of the storm. Chapter 2, sorry, hold on. His hand was always there. Chapter 2 is choosing peace in the unknown. And then chapter 3, no endings, only ever afters. And then chapter 4, because of him, I can't have joy. And so that gets me all to the season of, this is all the pre-season. This is the before my dad was hospitalized.
Yeah.
I haven't done the July 19th is the day that my dad was hospitalized, and that's when everything went like downhill. And so it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. So that one needs full attention.
So what are you doing? Because you got 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So how many hours are you dedicating a day to this?
I do an hour a day.
An hour a day?
Mm-hmm. Because then I kind of like, I read it, I reflect on it, I change stuff around.
Don't do that. So when I took some,
just write it all out.
Write it all out.
Yeah, I've heard that too, where you have to get the first draft out, and then anyway, I should do that.
Yeah, because if you don't, then you always, every time you read it, it's like, oh, I could change this, and you change in whatever, and then you lose the flow and the momentum.
Yeah.
To continuing to write the next chapters.
I think one of my difficulties is that I battle with the thought of, why are you doing this? Nobody cares. Which is really stupid, right?
Very, very stupid.
Yeah, and I'm like, even if nobody cares, who cares, right?
So
I care.
Here's the thing is, right? So what I use chat as well a lot is to do my editing.
I do that.
Okay.
So I am.
So all you do, so just write. Then just write.
Yeah.
Just write. And then afterwards, just throw it in chat and be like, fix all grammars and spelling.
So I actually have done that where I'm putting the entries in and I'm like, keep the same voice, fix grammar, and fix spelling mistakes, right? So I am doing that. And I think that's so helpful. I feel like this season, I've been waiting for AI to help me in certain areas because when I wrote this 3 years ago, AI wasn't as big. I wasn't using AI. Maybe I wasn't comfortable with AI. But now with it, I feel like I can make it so much more of me.
And people chastise AI so much. But listen, this is a ghostwriter.
Yeah, I was telling Mike the same thing. I'm like, I am a huge fan of AI.
So, I don't know if you know what a ghostwriter is, right? A ghostwriter would...
Someone you hire and they write the book for you. You tell them all your thoughts and they just fix it and put it into the written format.
And then you slap your name on it.
Yeah. And that's what a ghostwriter is. Your content. It's just that you somebody more professional that can do it for you.
Yeah. And then I used to hire Canadian editors to fix all my grammar, and it was expensive.
I know. I reached out. So last year, because I had the same thought and I actually digitized all my journals. So last year I reached out to a friend who is like into writing, an editor, and I was like, hey, I'm looking to do this. And then she gave me the prices. I'm sure she is worth every penny to use her as like editor, writer, and all that stuff. The issue for me was that I just don't have the resources because it is expensive, right? And I think it's fully worth it. I think if you have the ability and the money, you should totally do it. I think in the meantime, for me, based on my resources, I think AI is going to help me to sort of get there. Do you want to know the name?
Mendoza?
No.
Oh.
No, the name of the book.
Oh, Mendoza?
Oh my gosh. Can you just like simmer down, man? Anyway, okay, so the title is Held.
What?
The title of the book is called Held, Journal Pages from a Heartbroken Daughter and a Faithful God.
Held.
Mm-hmm. So then what I envision is like the Savior just like holding me. Anyway, that's where I'm at, guys.
So, not that you're asking for it.
Don't tell me right now. You told me just to put everything down.
No,
Save
I know.
your thoughts for later.
No, I know. I know. But I want I out of 1 to 10,
You give it a 2.
I give it a 21. The title.
Okay.
Held.
Just
Held.
I know. I was like,
I was like that. I was like, ooh, because here's the thing is, right? Oh, right?
I know, right?
You say, it does.
It feels so good, right?
Because when you say held, I'm like, what the freak? Like it makes me wonder, like, oh, what held? Like, what are you talking about? It can be figuratively, spiritually, mentally, emotionally.
It's every way. I was
anything.
held in every single way.
But the minute you lost me when you're like a broken daughter, I'm like, oh, I'm not a broken daughter.
Oh, so just like held. Okay.
Just held. Just
held.
held. Drop everything else.
Yeah.
Drop everything else. Just held identifies with anybody, and not only that, it's curious enough for everybody to be like, what the heck is this thing talking about?
At least it'll like open. You'll open. You know when I picture big things in my mind, I would love, and this is like big dream.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna happen, kind of big dream, but just being a book in the desert bookstore.
100%.
I like. Wouldn't that be amazing?
100%. I have contact there.
Desert Books is like a faith-based bookstore, based on like the faith that we're in, Christians, but it is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of Christian content, right? I'm like,
just be like held a mended heart.
anyway, guys, that is my big announcement. Did I surprise you? Was it a good surprise? It looked like it was a good surprise.
It was it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was. I had an idea because we did talk about your book and just not flopping, but just not fulfilling and not finishing it. And I think it triggered something.
I was already thinking about it before because we were heading into the season.
Yeah.
I feel like this is my season. This is my season of reflection.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff going on in like, my life right now and whatnot that I'm like, okay, I think this is the time to birth it.
It is the time to birth it. Let's make this baby.
Let's do it.
Not.
I think people know.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not making babies. How, like, our spouses are saints. Anytime that I've asked Mike, I'm like, I hope you're comfortable with me and Miguel, like, doing this. He's like, what's going to happen?
Tate says the exact same thing.
I'm like, this guy, like, burps and farts in front of me, so I think
first of all, hang out, time out, rewind that. I have never passed gas. I've burped. Things have come out of my nose and my mouth, boogers, all that other stuff.
But nothing out of your butt.
But nothing from the south. Nothing from the south. Everything has been north. It's been north.
Anyway, I like the things that he says to me. I'm like, do you have no filter?
Nothing.
Like, these are inside thoughts. These are not things that I need to know.
Nothing. I don't have filters with family. That's the thing is, right? If I start putting filters in front of you, then you stop being my sister or my cousin. You stop being family. My kids call you tia.
I know, they're so sweet. I love them.
Right? Your daughter Raquel calls me uncle.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, so I don't have filters with my biological sister or my nieces and nephews. I'm picking their nose. I'm doing all these different. I sit on them all the time. I hold their babies upside down. Like I'm telling you right now, there's no filter. So when I start throwing filters here around, then
sometimes I wish he had a bit of a filter because I'm like, what? I'm like, did you just hear the words that are coming out of your mouth?
You've opened up this can of worms. You asked for this, the full version, not the Cole's notes.
Not the water down version.
No, you asked
the Cole's notes. That's a better one.
Yeah, you asked for what's it called? Not the full throttle. You asked for the full.
Anyway, what time is it? I think this is a perfect segue for us to dip out.
Potency.
Is
that what it is?
I can't.
Is that a
honestly,
word?
Yeah, potency, it is the right word.
Yeah,
but
you asked for the full potency of Miguel Martinez.
I have to tell you that what most people get of Miguel Martinez, I have to say, when you're on the stage, it is 100% Miguel. I'm like, you're getting full potency, right? But in the real world, if you see him at church, if you see him out in the community, you are getting probably a 50% level of him. Like, the things that come out of his mouth, I'm like, and even with 50%, sometimes you question the things that come out of his mouth. Imagine with a full 100%, you're like, what? What did you just say?
¿Quieres un pedazo de mí?
Anyway.
You know why? Like, so I I grew up, but did not grow up in the church. So those filters that were meant to be put in place to like,
Did not develop.
they didn't. They really didn't develop. And so I grew up with high school buddies. Till
Yeah.
this day, they're my friends, right? And
Your kids would be like, oh, your kids live with you, so I guess they know.
they've seen and heard much from me.
They're like, Dad, I think you need to talk to the state president.
It is. So, is it Elias? One time, it was last week. He goes, Dad, how are you a bishop?
No, especially right now. I think with Elias going on a mission. So Elias got his mission call. So
Yes,
exciting.
He's going to Bolivia.
I know.
Santa Cruz, Bolivia.
I'm so excited for him.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I wonder as he's heading into this mission mode, if he's going to be obviously a lot more spiritual, a lot more.
He chastised me for drinking a drink the other day. I was gonna say.
Anyway, guys, this is where we're at. We're imperfect, but we're here.
Yeah. But yeah, when I talked to, so Seth called me on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It was my birthday last week, right? So he called me on my birthday and goes, hey, Dad. And I'm like, hey. And so I was in the car. And so we start talking. And I don't know what I said. And then he's like, Dad, how are you active? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, the things that you say should not be said.
And he's coming back, right? So get ready for like 24/7.
So I have a feeling that within the first, if looking at my mission, you're like a prim proper saint for the first month, and then reality starts to seek in, and then you kind of go back to normal with the mission at the forefront of your mind. But then you kind of like you start listening to music, you start connecting with your old friends, and then whatever, right? And so, yeah, I give it a month of just pure chastisement in my house. And like, Dad, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Just stop. But yeah, so big announcement next week, Monday. Make sure that you log on with us because we launch my course.
I'm so excited to see it. Are you gonna give us like a preview? Can we do a screen share of like a quick thing of what the course looks like?
Yeah. So the bones of everything's already been structured, and so now this week I'm just gonna spend time recording all the videos and then uploading all the videos, ready to launch on the 16th.
Okay, I'm excited. Everybody, please log on. Tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your moms and dads.
Yeah. I have some big goals. I have some big goals. That's some big financial goals.
Yes.
And big, like I love working out of my house and I want whatever, but I also I want
an office.
I want a studio.
Yeah.
I want a studio where I can bring in families. I can run courses. I can do these different things and have an environment. I can't bring people to my house. And not only that, my invoices have my email address, my home address.
Yeah.
And I want.
So you're like not comfortable with
I'm
that,
not.
right?
I'm not.
Yeah.
The more I grow, right? And so I need, and I can get a PO box, but there's some places some accounts that don't accept PO boxes. Like they need a physical address.
Yeah.
And so it really puts family and the more well known that I am in the course and the company, whatever, and it puts me and my family in a sticky situation. So I want an office, but for that to happen, financially I have to. There's certain goals that I have to hit that won't hurt my family's finances too, right?
Mm-hmm. All right,
So,
we're excited.
Yeah, so next week, make sure you log on, ladies and gentlemen, because we are launching that. And then on the 30th, we are launching. So just really quickly, we're good every single Monday moving now, right? Forward?
Yeah. I don't have anything.
16th, 20th, 30th, and 30th?
Yeah. I'm going to check right now. We are doing this live. Yeah, I actually have you booked in already. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, no more days off for Mondays. We are back again in full throttle, 16th, 23rd, and 30th, bright and early. Unless Maria calls me in the morning, she's like, I don't feel like doing this. And then if we cancel, if you see podcast is not happening, just know it's not because of me.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with us. We love you guys. Thank you for putting up with Miguel. Just kidding. What was your takeaway today?
I am your faja. I have 2 fajas. I got many fajas all over my body. I got a lot of fajas on me.
You are so weird. I don't know how.
You said it. Push the fajas.
I I didn't say fascia. Now I can't even remember
She
what the
did
word
say
is.
fascia. What's your takeaway?
I don't know. What is my takeaway?
How much I inspire you. How much this, all of this, the full throttle
I
has
feel like-
inspired you.
I just feel like anytime you talk, you put your foot in your mouth.
Potency of Martinez.
I wonder every day how you're married, how you're a bishop, why I'm here.
Yeah, nobody cares. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, subscribe to all our socials. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh my gosh.
Got a
I
minute,
have to
Donna.
pee so badly.
Got
That
a
last
minute of your time.
5 minutes.
You kept trying to finish it, and I'm like, wait.
I show that I live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. God of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its side. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.